Hello and welcome to Gardening at 58 North. In this video I'd like to give you guys an update on my Penjing. So this is the first Penjing I've tried, and I did a video a few weeks ago about planting it up and getting it ready. So this is a cutting of a Ficus benjamina that I took. I then trained it with a wire to arch over and downwards, and I planted it on top of a small rock as well, but the rock is now covered up with soil so you can't actually see it. So I've let it grow, and as you can see the stem's actually getting quite thick now. It's really thickening up quite nicely. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut off some of this growth because it's going quite far out of the basin here, and I wanted to encourage a bit more branching and make it look a bit more like a natural tree. So I'll just lift up the camera now and show you a few angles from the top. You can see there's lots of nice branches there and leaves, but further down there's not too many. So the plan is I'm going to try and get some of these, where these leaves are, there's going to be buds, and I'm going to try and get some of those buds to start growing so I can get some new branches on it. So I'm just going to get my secateurs, and what I'm going to do, cut some of the branches. So what I'm going to do is cut this large one at the side here, just in front of where there's another shoot coming out, and that will become the new leader on that side. And this is going to bleed a lot because Ficus benjamina always bleeds a lot. I haven't watered this for a few days just to try and reduce the amount of bleeding, but it's still going to bleed a lot. And the other one here, I'm just going to prune it back to about here, where there's another leader coming up. And what that will do is it will, hopefully those two leaves will now become a bit stronger and they'll grow down, but I'll keep pinching them back so they won't get too strong. And hopefully that will encourage these other ones to start shooting. The other shoots here, I'm just going to cut them back to the first leaf to encourage branching again, so that it will get more branches and it'll look bushier. So that's what I'm doing for these two, and that's, I think, okay now for the Penjing. Now I just need to let it regrow and have some more side shoots, so hopefully when they start coming through I will start training them. But the idea is I want this to have like an old weathered kind of tree effect, almost a bit like a windswept effect, but it's not going to be windswept. It's going to be a slightly different effect, but that's the kind of idea. So what I'll do now is, as I said, there's a stone under here, and what I've been doing recently is I've been watering it quite sporadically, so I've been letting it dry out a lot, and once that's done is it's let the roots that are here, it's let them search further for the water, because all the water in the nearby area of the soil is all dried out. What it has done is it's meant this vine that I planted up has died back a bit, but never mind. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get a knife. I'm just going to very carefully start taking away some of this compost and see if I can find out where the roots are heading at the moment, and also see if I can find this stone in it. So as you can see, I'm just teasing away. You can see there's some old dry dead roots there which are no longer doing anything, but there's also quite a lot of yellow roots and which are still growing. So what I'm going to very carefully do is peel this all away, and I'll set this up on time lapse so you can see me doing it over time. So as you can see, that's now exposed a lot of the roots, and it's also exposed a bit of the stone that's underneath. So I'm fairly happy with how it's worked. So what's going to happen now is, because all these thin fine roots are exposed to the air, a lot of these will actually die off, and as they die off I'll cut them off, and they should go kind of a brown colour like this when they've died. And when they have gone like that, I will just give them a trim, because they're no longer doing anything and are no longer necessary, they're not supporting the plant, they don't look particularly nice either. So I'll just trim them off like that. But I'll wait for them to die back first, just so they can, there's a bit less shock to the plant. And also the longer, thicker roots though, they will survive, because they will actually go down to the soil and they will have feeder roots at the end of them. So they will survive and still survive the plant, but they'll thicken up over time. They'll also go a bit barky as well. Instead of being yellow, they go more like the colour of the trunk. So at the moment I've got a nice large one coming down here, which divides quite quickly, but I've got on the other side I've got two roots, which they're going to be the main roots by the looks of things, so they're a lot thicker. You can see them there, they're really quite thick roots. So I need to clear away at them and see how they're going to look. And the other thing I'd like to do today is see if I can lift the stone, because at the moment the stone looks a little low and quite buried by the soil. So I might clear away some more of this compost and also try and lever the stone up a little bit with my knife. So there we are, that's enough for now. I think I don't want to do too much in one go because it will destabilise the plant and the plant's not going to hold its own very well. So that's enough for now, I think, in this session. And what I'll do the next few, as I say, is I'll cut off some of those existing roots which are dying off as now they're exposed to the air, and I will keep lifting it up just slowly and taking away the compost just to expose more and more of the stone. I'm now thinking the stone might be a little bit small, but I'm not sure. We'll see how it progresses. But that's it for now, and thanks for watching.